Does anyone else feel like the last few years kind of blended together? Like for me, around 2018 or so to now, kind of just feel like one long, uncanny year. I mean, lots of people do say that time does move fast as you age, and that is true, or at least feels true from my own personal experience. But could it be something else? Could it be a different thing that's causing it? And because I am, in fact, older and do notice this constantly, I've just kind of gone with that as the time steadily speeds up. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm here to talk about today. I'm Johnny Blacklight. Welcome to the channel. Here we talk about all kinds of weird stuff, cryptids, UAPs, glitches in the Matrix itself, and more. Subscribe and stay a while. So today's topic is time, the possibility of why it feels off, weird, and like someone accidentally hit the fast forward button, and ways to possibly break free from it and slow things back down intentionally and rationally. But yeah, man, it just seems like years don't feel very distinct anymore. A year like 1996 or 2001 feels solid and real to me. But years like 2022 or 2023 just don't for me, really. It's just harder to nail down any kind of specifics or hone in on certain moments and whatnot. Again, things just kind of feel like a blur for me when it comes to that. And I do think I owe a lot of that to just straight up growing up in general. Adult life stuff kind of floods in right after high school. You got work, bills, the monotony of things. But for me personally, even back then, early 2000s, they still feel rich and vibrant, alive and tangible in a weird way. I remember how the world as a whole seemed to feel back then, like the overall vibe. But now for me, it's harder to place than ever before. And what I and many others seem to think it is the internet. As we all know, whether you're on it or not, social media has grown into this seemingly uncontrollable, algorithm-induced Goliath that has infiltrated and affected every aspect of what we have as social culture today, turning years into an infinite scrolling, ever-changing feed. Algorithms recycle aesthetics, trends, and nostalgia in an endless loop that just keeps us looking in so many different directions all at the same time. Same phone, same feed, same apps, year in and year out. And time just kind of feels like it no longer has any kind of punctuation. Just a steady, slow drip of randomness, really. And yes, aging does change your perception of time. Like when you're a little kid and you feel like years last forever, because at that time you've only been around for a few of them. So they feel massive back then. I don't know, man. It seems like a lot of younger people even are saying that time feels weird or off to them too. Feels like it might be not an age thing and might very well be some sort of lack of contrast, maybe. With everything kind of feeling like it's monotonous, it seems harder to grasp onto something like the way a specific year felt nowadays. Back in the day, we had more of a collective shared experience when it came to pop culture, entertainment, and stuff like that. And yes, we still have household names who are known the world over instantaneously. But with social media and its infinite lanes, we all have taken full advantage of the ability to kind of create our own entertainment feeds, fully algorithmically ready to show us what we've told it we like. Creating these customized funnels that anyone at any time can create or lose themselves in. So in this Black Mirror world we live in now, we seem to share less as a whole and dive into our own personal rabbit holes, creating our own algorithmically custom entertainment loops. Traditions taking a back seat, leaving us feeling like years all run together as one big, unstoppable, scrolling feed. What we do share now is our participation in the division and the outrage brought to us by the Black Mirror system. So a lot of what the algorithm is pushing to us and having us take the bait on, thus sending more of it straight to our domes, is in fact the things that keep us afraid, in the race, not being creative, not pursuing our dreams, and not living with any real intentions. Just fabricated ones pushed by soulless entities that have you believing they are real, when in fact they are not. I think the first step in breaking this system of monotony for yourself is to kind of wake up to the reality, or lack thereof, of a lot of things. The matrix, if you will. I think a lot of the stress we've been carrying may not be real in the way we think it is. Manufactured outrage and division is the name of the game for the powers that be. And no longer participating in that is the first step in clogging up the gears in the machine, or at least the version of it that you personally interact with. I saw someone in a video I watched recently say that it's kind of like trying to put out a burning building with a water pistol, then suddenly coming to the realization that the building, the set, everything else around it that you're trying to protect from the spread is in fact fake. It's a movie set. It's a darkly freeing feeling to finally be able to see that, though. A grief loop is being fed to us, literally on a Black Mirror feed we're all addicted to. But it's one of those, once you see it, you can't unsee it moments, and a shift can begin then. Manufactured pressure and artificial urgency that fuels you right into the next outrage lane, and on and on. But once you step off that track, time kind of slows back down a little bit. The days can feel a bit more full. You put your phone down for more than just a few minutes. You sit with your thoughts, yourself, your faults, and your strengths. The struggles, the wonder, all of it. You can then begin to kind of create your own reality, as they say, by moving towards activity and challenge that truly feeds your soul, the stuff that you are actually passionate about. Now, creating your own reality is a whole different conversation here, because we are indeed a part of this system, fully immersed in it. But when you see things that you can't unsee, have certain realizations, you can begin to navigate yourself through all of this with a bit more awareness of what to watch out for. For me, that seemed to be when I was able to kind of pull myself out of the scrolling feed-like system return to some more tradition and seasonal aspects of things, and find a better blend of realities between the me from the old world and the current me existing in this new one. That brings us back to this awakening thing, man. The non-participating in the division and the outrage culture. And it can feel like dropping a backpack full of bricks, man. And taking a different, more personal path. Choosing where your energy goes rather than reacting and bracing for impact all the time. Choosing what to share with like-minded individuals rather than falling into the negativity loops that draw so many in, man. It's like moths to a flame out here. The technology toothpaste is probably not going back in the tube. So I don't think that a complete breakaway from it totally is going to happen or is the answer at this point. But little by little, maybe breaking down the addiction can be a building block towards living with intention rather than knee-jerk reactions all the time. Because I do feel like we're becoming somewhat less human these days, man. The stronger this Black Mirror system gets. More of a beginning stages type of thing for sure. Not like full on cyborgs, obviously, but the Black Mirror has changed our perception or attention span, human interaction already, man, in so many ways. And the integration of technology and humans is more talked about now than ever. Another aspect for me personally that has been kind of helpful with all of this is breaking down my past in sort of like eras, if you will. About a year ago, exactly, pretty much, I wrote out a little note in my phone to reference back to, kind of listing out certain age brackets, the activities I enjoyed participating in back then, kind of where I was in life with like school or work or whatever. Kind of gave each of them their own identity. And it also gave me a well to go back to be sure I'm incorporating some of the older eras into what I'm doing today as an adult. I know I could definitely feel the transitions of life back then. Plus, it's nice to pull from the life lessons learned along the way. And this method gave my 2025 a bit more shape than years previous, when I felt like I just had my head down and I was just pushing forward. For me, the theming years seems to be working more than setting goals for years. They kind of go hand in hand and are kind of similar, to be honest. But for me, setting a theme to a year gives me more doable intention. Less risk of burnout or just stopping in general, and ultimately gives the year a feel, something to kind of give it more definition. I think seasons and seasonal content is important as well. It's kind of like I said about us sharing an experience back in the day. For example, all the holiday branding you'd get on TV during those times. your 31 days of horror during the Halloween, Christmas marathons, Jaws on like TNT or something for July the 4th, things like that. And I got to be honest, I do like seeing streaming services attempt to somewhat keep that alive, at least a little bit, with some of them having horror sections to click on to see the different subgenres and all the horror movies they got for the season. Or one of them having all the Rocky movies streaming for Christmas and having like a little holiday ad out there for it. Also, I'm a big WWE wrestling fan, and I loved all the Christmas branding we got leading up to that. A handful of shows with Christmas trees and holiday bumper edits and whatnot. The same for New Year's. That's the kind of stuff that, for me at least, can help to set the tone and atmosphere for that specific holiday season, giving it a little bit more of a personal definition to kind of build on for the year. And that's one of the many things we lost when we took to social media back shortly after the iPhone was released. The ability to physically carry around and check your phone at pretty much any time changed so many dynamics compared to how primitive things felt back in the early internet era. Our attention has been scattered, shifted in a way I don't know if we can ever truly come back from. But we can find ways to maneuver through the black mirror with more purpose and intention. And that's what I'm hoping to continue moving into in the future, to help kind of slow things back down for myself and really get the most out of things again. So what do you think? If this phenomenon is affecting you at all, how are you coping with it? What do you think's causing it, if anything? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm Johnny Blacklight. Subscribe for more. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.